Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You join me back with the Rivian R1S, of course, and my friend's Rivian R1T, which is really an awesome looking truck. One of the best PPF jobs ever. Keep an eye on Out of Spec detailing for the full story on this truck. It's truly incredible. But what we're actually going to do is run both trucks side by side, not really in a loop style test, not at a constant speed, but we're going to make sure they go through the same driving conditions from here to the Denver Rivian Service Center. We're just north of Denver. We're going to take the little outer loop road over there, and we're going to look at the efficiency difference between R1T and R1S running pretty much side by side. We're not going to be doing any drafting, and take a look to see how efficient one is over the other or how even they are, which is what our 70-mile-per-hour highway range tests conclude. There was only 2.5 mile difference between the T and the S in our 70 test. But of course, different conditions outside. I wanted to run both side by side. So they're both on the same software, the same battery, the same 4 motors, the same 20-inch all-terrain tires, a different wheel face, unfortunately. We are trying our best here. I'll show you the trucks outside in just a second, walk you through the testing procedures, and then we'll see which one uses more energy. I want to say a huge thank you to Magna for sponsoring this video. Guys, every week I thought it'd be pretty cool to highlight a specific Magna innovation, and in this case I want to talk about seats. Now, seats may not sound that interesting, but Magna's actually developed a really cool technology called freeform. Now, traditionally seat covers need to be stitched and sewed and hooked and looped in certain places whenever you want to tie down the material or have some sort of concave surface. But with a new innovation called freeform, the material itself can actually be molded to whatever shape you'd like. For example, take a look at this diamond pattern. When have you ever seen a fully embossed diamond pattern with no stitching? It's crazy. It's going to lead to the next generation of interior materials. I've actually even had a chance to try this out. And what's even crazier is the seat structure was the same as the factory OE spec. Freeform allowed the entire seat to feel and mold differently than the original seat. It was really crazy. Take a look at my reaction here. Let's see how this all... Okay, totally different, first of all. But it's the same seat structure.
It's the guts of the seat the production seat.
Whoa, totally different. So a huge thank you to Magna for sponsoring this video. We'll have a full in-depth video with Magna seating specifically on freeform coming to this channel very soon. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. It looks like both trucks have just completed at 70% state of charge, pretty much at the exact time, which is wonderful. So what we've done is we've DC charged the trucks to 70% where they both have cut off. That basically allows us to make sure that the batteries are nice and warm and that everything is sort of at the same temperature or as close as we can possibly get it. This Rivian R1T, of course, is launch green with a matte PPF over it. Looks really amazing. And you can see it's on, I would say, the more popular 20-inch all-terrain wheel and tire selection. If you take a look at our R1S, same tire, Pirelli Scorpion all-terrain. It's a Rivian OE specific tire, but with the black color, which actually changes the wheel face a little bit. So both trucks actually completed within 1 minute of each other from charging, which is really great. So let's unplug these so we don't get idle fees. But what I'm really looking forward to doing is running these trucks side by side. We're gonna do about 40 or 50 miles of driving, and we're just gonna try and go the same speed, you know, as scientific as we can do, and we're going to use the in-car data to analyze everything. Because they're both Rivians on the same software, we don't actually have to include a charging component. We can just rely on the in-dash situation. Alyssa's also going to be following along in our R1T, but this is not really a good measurement vehicle. A, it's covered in mud. B, we got stuff in the bed. We got 22-inch wheels, but they're not on the factory tires. They're on the Nokian Outpost AT tires. So I guess a good data point to have. Maybe we need to clean the truck. You can't even see our license plate, but maybe that's better. So I guess free tolls in our R1T at the moment, but yep, we'll get it washed at some point. So that'll be an interesting data point to have. These two trucks are looking great. We're going to use the same climate control settings, do our best to go the same speed. and see how much difference there is in the consumption. All right, time to go. We're gonna run 70 degrees auto in our Climate. Alyssa's gonna do the same thing in our R1T. Halloween mode still active in this. This is our final test. We did charge to 70%, but it did actually creep up to 72. We've seen that behavior many times. I'm also gonna do a little cheating. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to leave rear air conditioning on because I think a lot of people will drive R1S with people in the back. So we'll leave rear vents on. That's just not going to use much energy here. Temperature is 61 degrees out. Tire pressures, we just reset them. They were all actually pretty much on the money, but we just double checked. We're at 48 PSI. So basically our route is going to be coming out of here, going down I-25, 470, over here towards the airport, and then we're going to go into Denver to drop them off at the service center. So great, let's do this thing. I love it. Late night testing is not that late, 7 p.m. That's an awesome time. So let's, as soon as we put them in drive, we're going to reset trip A is the plan. Just a Rivian hodgepodge right here. You can see a guy in a Raptor is very interested in our trucks, but sorry dude, we are out for testing. Cool, so let's go here. Let's go to truck. Let's click this, reset, and off we go then. We're basically just going to follow each other. Similar, there we go, fully reset. And Alyssa's doing the same in our R1T. We're gonna try and stick together as a bunch. No aero drag. Again, we're not running on chassis dynos. This is real world, real traffic, but I think it should be an interesting thing to see. We have all of the settings set the same, so let's do it. And here we are merging onto the highway. We have one little Jeep in front of us, but so far so good. Alyssa's also behind us in the R1T with 22-inch wheels, so just gentle accelerations. We're just gonna try and do the best we can. You can see flowing traffic here. We just want the trucks to sort of arrive at the same time, so our average speed is as close to the same as possible. But let's see how this all plays out. Time will tell, and I'm honestly hoping for the best. So we're right behind him. All is good, running the same speed, no aero drafting. This is perfection. And again, we don't need to run a real constant speed here. I should have also mentioned to the viewers, we are running the standard driving profile that we all prefer to drive in, all-purpose, standard ride height, ride in soft, and brake regen in high. So off we go then, just cruising right behind the R1T. Here we are cruising down the little ring road around Denver. We've got all three of us in a little row, leaving enough space so we have no aero advantage, and just absolutely cruising, loving the drive. Just beautiful. The Rivians look so cool at nighttime. Have to say, I'm really gonna miss this R1S. I mean, I love my truck, and I think I actually like my truck more than the SUV for me personally. But man, they did such a nice job adapting that platform to this SUV. There are still little niggles here and there, of course, just like with any new production vehicle, but I think they got themselves a great starting point. And wow, yeah, I can't think of a more desirable electric SUV on the market at all. So let's keep cruising along. The higher the speed, the actual better this test should be, because there'll be more difference in efficiency for aero's situation, which is what we're really trying to show. And wish we could do the same wheels, but again, both on the 20-inch AT tires, it's as good as we can get it. We've got the adaptive cruise control set to the farthest distance, and wow, perfect conditions tonight. A little windy actually, but again, all the trucks are getting the same hit either way. Just a little midway update. We're 7 miles in and we are getting pretty poor efficiency, but what matters is the spread across. Now, I should make another point, which I'm going to explain right now. It is my impression that both the R1T and R1S are so close in their consumption that there's so many other factors that are going to affect your, energy consumption more than just choosing R1T or S. The weather, the speed, the wind is a big one. Weight, maybe in the mountains, but on flat ground, weight doesn't make much of a difference. And so it says toll booth ahead, take control, sure thing. So my impression is, don't make a buying decision off of these two, off of consumption. It's just more interesting information, if you will. But either way, each of these vehicles have more than enough range to get from fast charger to fast charger. And honestly, I think the improvements need to be on charging more than efficiency here. But again, under 2 miles per kilowatt hour, let's just keep in check here. That's a pretty thirsty beast. These are big vehicles. I've just done a check-in with the R1T owner in front of me, and he is at 1.89 miles per kilowatt hour, while I'm at 1.85. So surprisingly slightly more efficient in his vehicle than this one so far, but still close enough where it makes almost no difference. And I'd say we're about halfway through the drive so far, something like that. Really impressive. I've kind of just been sticking in the left lane when possible to avoid any extra bit of aero, especially now that the road is open. The other R1T is behind us, Alyssa, but man, this is so close. I cannot believe it, going through the toll booths here on 470. So interesting. So part of this drive, we want it to be a mix of city and highway. So we're actually popping off of 470, and we're still taking pretty high speed roads, but nothing like the 80 miles an hour we have been doing. Just coming off of 80 now, slowing down and taking some side roads in just to give us a nice mix. But at least on the highway, wow, we were pretty much dead even the entire way. I mean, no difference at all up to this point, which is truly insane considering a totally different shape of the vehicle here. And now we're cruising in a little bit more denser traffic situation here, but still maintaining pretty good pace actually. We'll get into a more urban area as we approach the service center, but just amazing to me how close things are. We're over by the airport right now, and man, R1T brake lights look pretty impressive, I have to say. Yeah, just a fun little test. I hope this helps, but I'm really enjoying the drive in the R1S. Kind of don't want to have to give it back. And here we are pulling off the highway, turning onto the roads near the service center. Looking pretty good. Wow, that was awesome. Really good conditions, perfect spacing, all three of us, I would say. Somehow we managed to do this going through pretty rough traffic, and wow, that launch screen, I know my windshield's crazy dirty, but that launch screen with matte PPF, woo, I like that. That is cool. Probably coolest looking R1T in our area. Love that thing. And here we are pulling in, all three of us at the same time. That could not have gone more perfectly. We'll park up in the parking lot and then we'll crunch some numbers, but we are at the Rivian Service Center here in Denver. Wow, they must have got a huge shipment of trucks because this parking lot is full. Oh my God. Well, or at least more full than it was a week ago. That's pretty crazy. So lots of vehicles around here, and wow, just Rivian galore. Let's go throw this over here. We'll crunch some numbers and that'll be the end of the video. Pretty awesome little test here. Øystein, that was a really fun test. Thank you so much for your time. Should we reveal the numbers?
I think we should.
Yeah, so I got 2.16 miles per kilowatt hour. What did your R1T do?
2.21.
So that's surprising. Every test we've done now, R1S is slightly less efficient than R1T, and technically I was following you. So
yes,
while I did leave as much space as I could, there's a little advantage there.
I think we had some perfect conditions in general, so I was surprised by those numbers for sure.
Yeah, it was a good 40 mile or so test. You used 0.4, or I used 0.4, almost a half a kilowatt hour more than you. Yep. That's measurable at that point. That's pretty crazy. Now, the big question is it the wheels or is it the R1S? Because we didn't have the same 20-inch wheels. Perhaps we'll do that test. I think you and I both think these wheels are probably the most efficient 20-inch wheels.
That's what I would think, yeah.
So kind of curious here. I'm gonna go check to see what Alyssa's truck says on the 22s, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so Alyssa ran the same testing procedures as us, again, on a separate wheel and tire pack. So let's take a look at the numbers here and see what it comes out. Hey, so what was your miles per kilowatt hour?
2.11.
2.11. So you were actually less efficient, which makes sense because we had the bed open with the tires in the back. You had your tonneau closed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, the R1T we rode the same settings. Alyssa was in the same settings. She was the least efficient. Makes sense with the tonneau open and the tires up. I think we have more testing to do. We need to do tonneau open and closed, and we need to do these wheels versus those wheels. And then I think we'll have a clearer picture. But pretty interesting testing. Definitely neat to see all of the Rivians here at the service center. I mean, just a ton. Oh, this does not look so good over here. That looks like a massive boo-boo on that one. That's sad to see. Check this thing out. Just sitting out in the parking lot at the Rivian service center. Wow, this looks pretty gnarly. I wonder what the heck hit it. It has the Ocean Coast interior, so it's a new one. It's got a trailer hitch on it. Wow, this is really sad to see. Looks like everyone, I hope, would be okay. It looks like a total sideswipe situation, but wow, air suspension gone for sure. Yeah, not looking good over here.